So thank you for watching Mikey Talks. I'm your host Mikey Lennon, and today I'm going to be talking about understanding people. Before I get into it, if you can subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate that. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers so you can help me reach my goal. So understanding people can be really challenging to do, especially when they're kind of rude to you, or they're just not having a good day, or they hurt you in some way. Sometimes it can be challenging to understand people, especially when they're rude or they hurt you or whatever. But it's best to try to understand where they're coming from so you don't hold on to negative feelings as much, which can be hard to do. I work at a sub shop and I get rude customers all the time. Now some of those people are pretty rude. Some of those people are just, it's just part of who they are, is rude. That's just their whole personality, is talking down to people because they feel like they're above you. It's yelling at people because they just like yelling at people. It's just who they are. But some of those rude customers that I've had is most likely having a bad day, and I just catch them at their bad moment. It has no reflection on them whatsoever. Now what I mean by this is some of those rude customers that has yelled at me or something like that has most likely been having a bad day. Maybe they're a single parent that didn't get to see their kid this weekend. Maybe they just got fired from their job and they're stressed out because they don't know how they're going to pay bills. Maybe they're going through the death of a loved one and there's so much that they have to try to figure out, and that it's just weighing on them, and they're just really stressed out and sad, and they're just taking it out on you because you just happen to be there and they just need to get rid of some of that frustration. It's good to understand that when people are rude to you, it doesn't really reflect who you are. Most of the time, I don't feel like it reflects good on who they are as well, because they could be going through a bad time, having a bad moment, and you just happen to catch them at that bad moment. It happens. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person, because they could still be a good person. They could just be having a bad moment. It happens to all of us. We're all human. We all have our bad moments. And as a result, it doesn't matter how nice you are, there's probably someone out there that's seen you at your bad moment and thinks you are a jerk. And that's just how life is. It happens to all of us. But that being said, it still doesn't mean that you deserve that, because you don't deserve to be yelled at or anything like that. So it's good to acknowledge that you didn't deserve what you got. You didn't deserve to get yelled at. You didn't deserve to get talked down to. You don't deserve to be hurt. But at the same time, it's good to try to understand the other person so you don't hold on to that anger or frustration, because holding on to that anger and frustration does no good anyways. Another good example is when people hurt you. It can be challenging to understand other people, especially people that you know personally and they hurt you, and it can be hard to try to understand them, but it's the best way to do it, because otherwise you just hold on to all this negative emotion that is not good and does not help you out whatsoever. A good example of this is my mom. My mom and dad split up when I was a kid. I have no memory of them together. My mom was supposed to get me on the weekends, but there was a point in my life where she would take me to my sister's house for the weekend and just drop me out there, and she'd just go to her boyfriend's house. I think she had a job too, job there, I don't know. But yeah, she would just kind of ditch me on the weekend. It was supposed to be her weekend, and she'd just drop me off at my sister's house and just go away. And when you're a little kid, that hurts, you know. It's like, how come you don't want to spend time with me? Like, is there something wrong with me, you know? But then she started taking me to her boyfriend's house, me and one of my other sisters, but I'm going to just talk about my experiences. It wasn't always the best, because when I was at home, I was used to being around my dad, I was used to being around people, I was always around people. And then I would go to my mom's house on the weekend, and it was just, I was alone. My mom was not there. She would always be downstairs in the house, and I was in the upstairs, and she didn't really try to really spend a whole lot of time with me growing up. There is some quality times here and there and some good memories, but at the end of the day, she did ignore me kind of a lot. She let people talk down to me. She let her boyfriend yell at me and verbally abuse me. She wouldn't care at all. Now all that hurt, because like, how come I'm not good enough? I don't know what I did to deserve this. I don't know what I did to deserve this love. I don't know what I did to deserve a mom that does not stand out for me, that does not fight for me, that always ignores me and does not try to spend time with me on the weekend. It was challenging. Now, like I said, there are some good memories, and I can make a video about that some other time. But right now, I'm just talking about hurt. That hurt me a lot. But when you try to understand the person, it helps it not hurt as much and helps you kind of move on from the past. Because I held on to that stuff, it hurt a lot, and it's whatever, it's part of the past. But when I try to start understanding my mom, it started to make sense and started to feel a little bit better about myself and about what happened. It had nothing to do with me and all to do about her. Now, my mom has her own problems, but she does not know how to adequately go through her problems. She does not know how to work through the problems that she has in order to feel better about her life or feel better about herself and create a better time. You know, she had her problems, and instead of trying to work through them, she didn't. She tried to numb her problems. She tried to act like they weren't there, in my opinion. She tried to numb them. She just let it get to her, I feel like. And when I started to realize that she has her own problems that she needs to work on, but she just doesn't know how to work on them, it made me feel more sympathy for her than anything. And it made the hurt not hurt as bad. So my point is, try to understand the person, try to understand what they're going through or what they've been through, and try to understand, like, why are they acting the way they are acting. Because that's the best way to not hold a grudge, not hold any negative emotions, is when you try to understand that person. Try to understand why they act the way they are. Because a lot of times when people are hurtful or people are mean, there is a reason behind that. They could have got hurt as well. They could have experienced something bad that just turned them into that person. They could be having just a bad month, and all that frustration from the bad month just got released on you in that 5 minutes. It really could be anything. Just sometimes it's not a true reflection of who they are. People make mistakes, people hurt, people hold negative emotions, people need to go through different challenges in life. So sometimes people might be a little rude once in a while during during some of those rough times. Don't let it get to you. Don't hold on to the negative emotions that you might feel from it, because life is too short to have all that negative emotions build up, because you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot be truly happy while you're holding on to that negative emotion. In order to truly be happy, you have to let go of that negative emotion. You have to try to understand people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm getting better at it. And I've been getting happier. Even though when I film videos, my eyes look like they're dead inside, that's because of work. It has nothing to do with anything else, really. Yeah, it's just better to understand people, let go of all that stuff, and realize your worth. Because you don't really deserve to be hurt. You don't deserve to be yelled at. You don't deserve to be talked down to. It's going to happen regardless of who you are at least some point in your life. You don't deserve it, but it's best to understand that person, why they were that way, and kind of just move on. Doesn't mean you have to let them in your life. Doesn't mean you have to talk to them, but just try to understand them.